All right, that was Shakina Davis reporting. Now let's go straight to a news conference that's happening right now in the city of Memphis with the mayor.
Yeah, that's right. Joining us is, we are going to go to that mayor interview. Let's take it there now.
Should take steps to prepare their household, protect their homes, and they should plan for potential disruptions. You're going to hear more from our team today about the road treatment efforts, our utilities, our warming centers, and service impacts. I want to end with this, and I want to be very, very clear. Stay off the roads unless you have to. Get out. When that happens, entire neighborhoods, when this event happens, entire neighborhoods could lose power or water, and one car crash can create outages that last well beyond the storm itself. We know that driving on ice does not just put your own life at risk. Those crashes knock down power poles, damage substations, and they can disrupt critical infrastructure. And so I'm strongly urging residents to stay home if you can. Prepare right now, help us reduce the risk to lives and to our city. We're going to continue to communicate very clearly and consistently as conditions develop, and we want to keep Memphians informed every step of the way. You're now going to hear a brief operational update from our team, and I want to start with MLGW President Doug McGowan.
Thanks, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. So first, let me talk about the availability of the utilities that we all count on: electric, gas, and water. We're in constant communication with our electric provider, Tennessee Valley Authority. They are in good position to respond to the very cold weather. Typically, the valley is impacted with increased electric demand because of increased electric heat in some parts of the Tennessee Valley. That is not what happens in Memphis, Tennessee. We are subject to what happens in the valley. They are well positioned to respond, but we can't rule out the fact that should temperatures persist for a long time and stay very cold, that we might not all be asked to conserve energy so that we can have power for everybody. So we're well positioned there. With respect to our water, all of our 10 water pumping stations and reservoirs are full and fully operational. Our water wells are all working to full capacity. We have insulated all of them to prevent them from freezing up, and so we're well positioned from a water capacity. On our natural gas side, something we don't often talk about, we have 3 natural gas pipelines. We have plenty of guaranteed contracts for the delivery of gas from our suppliers. We also have stored natural gas for an eventuality just like this. We will be taking natural gas out of underground storage that is up in Midland, Kentucky, and distributing that to all of you. From our liquid natural gas plant down at Capelville, we will be vaporizing liquid natural gas and injecting that into our system. That ensures that all of you will have availability of natural gas to heat your homes. The issue becomes distributing those utilities to all of you. As the mayor talked about with respect to ice, that is our primary threat for the electric distribution system. We are forecast to have between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of ice. Customers should expect some power outages with that amount of ice because it will weigh the power lines and the trees down. We are on the cusp of more than 1/2 inch of ice. Should the front move slightly northward, we could accumulate more than 1/2 inch, and that's when you should expect widespread power outages because of the weight of the ice on those power lines and the trees. 1/2 inch of ice can add 1,000 pounds to a stretch of power line. You can imagine what the kind of damage that does. On the water side, persistent cold temperatures and lack of electricity can affect our ability to effectively pump water through those water mains. And also, prevalent cold temperatures will cause residential and commercial customers' pipes to freeze. That's why we ask all of you to please take precautions, because when that happens, there's a break in the pipe and the water pressure drops. While we might have plenty of water, the pressure drops to the point where we can't distribute it. So it's important for people to be prepared for, not just prepare for, but expect there to be some impacts to your electric availability. Expect that there could be some disruptions to your normal water supply. What are we asking you to do? Really good guidance about how to stay warm and what to do in your home with lack of electric power. But for the water side, make sure you have drinking water for your family and your pets. But the other thing I want you to do is prepare by having either some buckets, trash cans, your tub, or a deep sink filled with water so that you can also flush commodes. We don't want to pivot from one emergency to another because we have failed to prepare for that. All I ask is that everybody be prepared, have an expectation that you may have some disruptions, and that way you'll be ready for it when it comes. The last thing I'll say, We have secured additional contract electric overhead crews. We typically have 39 here working in Memphis and Shelby County. There are 50 more crews who have come from across America. They are pre-positioned in Shelby County today. They are ready to respond. But if we get the amount of sleet and ice that we expect, it may be a little slower response than we typically have. So the mayor said, everybody please stay off the roads. Let the emergency crews and the emergency response crews have room to maneuver. And we also don't need, as the mayor said, anybody taking out any more power poles than might already be impacted. So I want to appreciate everybody up front for your patience and diligence. Look for more updates from us with respect to availability and distribution of power, water, and gas. And I'll turn it over now to Mr. Morgan, who will talk about the roads and other infrastructure that the city will be taking care of.
Thank you. Good morning. So for Public Works, what we started doing, we started pre-treating our roads. That's with our brine solution. We started Wednesday through yesterday and through today. All of the designated routes that we established last year, which on this map behind you, all of those have been treated multiple times with our brine solution, which will help prevent and slow down the sticking of the winter precipitation on the roads. Once we finish our routes today, our crews will start shifting to monitor snow accumulation or ice accumulation. As precipitation starts to fall, we'll start putting down salt throughout tonight and the weekend. One thing to keep in mind, as previously mentioned, if we get a lot of accumulation of ice, plowing becomes ineffective or non-existent. We can't plow ice. So as the mayor mentioned, please stay off the roads if we get a lot of ice. They will be dangerous, and we need to allow the roads for emergency personnel. One additional thing, when we get into the colder temperatures Saturday night into Sunday, our salt becomes ineffective, or not our salt, salt in general becomes ineffective about less than 15 degrees, which means that reaction time is slower on the melting of the precipitation on the roads. So we are out there spreading salt. We will plow if we can, but please be vigilant around the crews. They are traveling at a slower speed, their vehicles. They're out there doing great work trying to keep the roads open, but it's a big network, and if we have a lot of ice, it's very hard to manage ice on the roadways. The last thing we have over 2,000 tons of salt available. We have over 16 salt trucks, plows. We have contractors on standby, with over six plows. So we're ready for the event. But again, ice is going to be our enemy, and hopefully we get a little more shift in the weather. We get more snow like we did last year, so we're able to manage that. And I will turn it over to OEM for their updates.
Good morning. I'm Jason Thompson with Office of Emergency Management. Our focus is going to be preparedness, communication, and coordination with our local agencies. We're going to have information out, funneling that information through the city website, www.memphistn.gov winter weather. They will be providing the latest and greatest information that we can give them for the community safety. This morning, based off of the 8:30 report from the National Weather Service, we are projected to get some snow and ice mixture. This snow and ice mixture will accumulate to approximately 3 inches. This will taper off into Saturday evening and then begin another precipitation round Sunday morning, and that will be when we get freezing rain and ice. We're projected to get a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of ice. President McGowan spoke about the issues that are associated with ice, and that would be what we're looking to prevent through preparedness and coordination with our partners in the city. Our goal is to make sure that we have all the information available to you as soon as possible. And one of the things that we suggest for the community is to be prepared. Make sure that you have a plan in place, you're staying warm, and you're checking on your neighbors. Also, communication is important, so make sure your devices are charged up before the power potentially can go out. We will continue to monitor the weather, working on our partners. Weather impacts everyone. Preparation makes a difference. Turn it over to hospitality.
Good morning, Jessica Huarty with the Hospitality Hub. We just would like to inform everyone that there will be a warming center open for our unhoused community. That warming center will be open today at 5 p.m. and will be going until further notice. The warming center is located at 200 East Parkway North. So people can come there, get signed in. It is free of charge. We do not require IDs to enter. We will provide a sleeping space and all of the meals while people are with us. If anyone needs transportation to get to that warming center, they can call 901-486-0939, and then the Hospitality Hub staff will coordinate with MATA to get people to the warming center. Thank you.
Good morning. The Memphis Area Transit Authority, safety is always our top priority, especially during winter weather. As conditions change, our focus remains on keeping our riders and employees safe. To do that, MATA is activating our inclement weather policy. What this means is that we're going to reduce our routes from 23 to 8. The routes that will remain open starting on Saturday are routes 11, 36, 39, 40, 42, 50, 52, and 57. The routes that will remain open can be found on our website as well as our social media pages. We will also continue to operate our paratransit service, providing critical rides for those in need. Those rides will remain open from 7 to 6 p.m. As weather conditions change, we strongly encourage our riders to stay connected and informed. Again, updates will be shared through our social media and on our website, which is matatransit.com. On social media, you can find us at Ride Mata, and then you can also sign up for the Omni alerts. Behind every safe trip is a dedicated team. I want to take this moment to sincerely thank the Mata employees who are reporting to work during these challenging conditions. We will continue to closely monitor our weather conditions and coordinate with the city and state officials to make informed decisions based on the latest forecasts and road conditions. As Mayor Young said, if you need to travel, we want to be there to safely support you and to get you effectively and efficiently from point A to B. If you don't have to travel, we ask that you stay home and stay secure. Thank you.
All right, good morning. So the Memphis Police Department will be activating its winter weather policy later on this evening. And of course, the weather will impact our response times for service, just like it will impact our citizens every day. So we are asking that our community members be patient with us. Please don't dial 911 unless you have a real emergency. Try not to get out in the anticipated severe conditions. If you have to drive, please drive slow and drive with your lights on. It helps to increase visibility. We are also asking our citizens to help us help you. Make sure that you are looking out for your relatives, individuals that may have medical conditions, your neighbors. If you see stranded motorists, please call 911 or 311. If the person is in a secure place, call 311 as that is a non-emergency number. If you see power lines down, please help the Memphis Police Department in reporting that. Also, trees down. This will help us to respond to those emergency type situations relatively quickly. And as I said before, take care of your family members, take care of your pets, take care of your pipes, take care of the elderly. Continue to report any other public safety emergencies to 911, but also use our 311 non-emergency number. Our winter weather policy is posted if you want to see details regarding that policy. And we just ask that everybody try to stay warm, stay safe, and stay home.
All right, good morning, everyone. Colin Barres, Memphis Fire Chief. So what I'd like to tell you is this week, the men and women of Memphis Fire covered all the bases, preparing hard. Not just the people in the streets, but also our dispatchers, our logistical teams. Just because we feel whatever the winter weather may bring, we're going to be able to take care of it and handle it. I want to stress that we're going to be impacted just due to the nature of the weather. So prepare for that. We're still coming, but just know it may be a little bit later because of the weather. But there's some things we can do to work together to circumvent that. One, stay informed. Make sure that you're watching what you can watch electronically until that's no good anymore. But just do the best you can. Check on your neighbors, as Chief Davis said, the elderly. That's the vulnerable population. Stay inside unless you have to get out. I think everybody's come up here and said the same thing in that regard. It not only helps our community, it helps our responders stay safe as well. Only utilize 911 in true cases of emergency. A couple I'd like to hit on, a couple of things that I see quite often when we experience cold weather. One is generator usage. If you're going to use a generator, a portable generator, please have it in an open air environment, not in the house. That's a recipe for disaster right off the bat. Also, candle usage. A lot of people use candles. If you're going to do that, make sure you either blow the candle out, keep them away from kids, and not only that, you want to make sure that you keep it away from flammable material. And finally, if you don't have a working smoke detector, you can go by any fire station. You can get one. You can even call 901-636-5650, and we'll get one up for you. In most cases, nearly 60% of all fire fatalities are a result of not having a detector in a home. So that's what I got, and thank you very much.
All right, I think that concludes most of the formal speaking parts, but I do want to just say a few more things. I want to also acknowledge our city council members that are here, Councilwoman Yolanda Cooper-Sutton, Councilman Philip Espinosa. I know many of the other council members I've spoken to, knowing that we are all on the same page, wanting our community to be safe. Another point that I wanted to make, in addition to the center that the Hospitality Hub is going to operate at 200 East Parkway, we also have 7 warming centers that will be operating at community centers throughout the city, and I'm just going to read those out. They start tomorrow at 10 a.m. Fraser Raleigh Senior Center at 3985 Egypt Central, Burt Ferguson Community Center at 8505 Trinity Road, Geisman Community Center at 4221 Macon, Gaston Community Center at 1048 South 3rd Street, Ed Rice at 2935 North Watkins, Orange Mound Community Center at 2572 Park Avenue, and Hickory Hill Community Center at 3910 Ridgeway Road. So those will be warming centers that will also be available to the public. And so thank you all for being here today. I think we'll do just a couple of questions if there are any. Yes, Chelsea.
So do you have any plans after the governor declared a state of emergency to do so for the city to be able to open up the powers of the municipalities?
We are looking at doing a state of emergency for the city of Memphis. We haven't executed it yet, but we are exploring that. Yes.
Yeah, Mayor, we saw something from the Tennessee National Guard today about how they might, mobilize to assist cities in the storm. We might see some military vehicles on the street. Do you anticipate that happening here in Memphis?
Yeah, our team at Memphis Police Department have been in constant communication with them. I know that the Tennessee National Guard is looking to support any of our relief efforts as needed, so we can expect to see them supporting MPD in those efforts.
Thank you.
Mayor, we had quite a run on the grocery stores yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you have any concerns about that or about people just like?
All right, so there was a lot to get to there, Yvonne. I know we both were taking some notes here. We'll try and get through everything, try and just tell you what you were just told. I think the big one that I noticed there, the number one thing was just stay off the roads, was the big, most instructive kind of a piece of advice they were giving. Do not go outside unless you absolutely have to. I think that's great advice.
It is. It absolutely is. And again, several community centers in the city of Memphis are now going to be open up as warming shelters, which is huge. Normally, we just have a few downtown. Now, almost every community center in every neighborhood will have a space where people can go and stay warm if they need it.
Right, and that could be really important because, as we heard them talk about, power outages likely, I believe, was one of the term I used, because the amount of ice and snow that we're going to get accumulating on a lot of our power lines here. Of course, they're not underground as they are in some parts of the country. power outages likely, even expected in certain areas. So kind of it's a little bit of, you got to be very concerned and making sure that you're prepared and you have everything you need.
Absolutely. They mentioned power outages, but also MLGW's Doug McGowan, the president and CEO, also mentioned a possible strain on our water supply because of all of that bitterly cold air. So what they're asking you to do right now to make sure you're prepared for that, if there are disruptions to the water supply, is to have water on hand. Not only bottled water, but they're asking you at this moment to fill up some buckets, to fill up even your tub, just in case you need to flush your toilet and you can't because of the strain on the water system.
That was certainly a new one that I haven't been familiar, filling up just buckets of water for yourself, even your tub. That gives you a sense of kind of how severe and significant they're preparing for this storm to come in. One of the other things, you know, I was hearing them talk about, they're worried about ice accumulation on the roads, which is going to make things particularly difficult because when there's ice accumulation versus snow, plowing is either ineffective or non-existent even, which could make a huge mess of our highways and roads here, even as much as salt and other solutions that they're putting down. You know, we heard them talk about, I believe it was 16 trucks, 2,000 tons of salt, 6 plows, trying to get all my numbers right here. None of those are going to matter if there's too much ice accumulation on the roads, and people might be stuck indoors potentially with no power either, giving you a sense of how important it is that everyone's going to have those survival bags, if you will.
Correct. And the crews are already treating so many roads right now, but it is important to remember too, as this weather event happens, after a certain temperature, that salt and brine mixture is not even as effective as it would be if the temperatures were higher. So this is a pretty significant event. Whatever we do get, if it's a lot of snow, if it's ice, if it's sleet, whatever that pattern will be, this will be significant because the temperatures will drop each and every night for several days.
Yeah, this thing is going to be sticking around for a number of days here, as our great weather team here has been, you know, keeping us informed as much as all of you. This is something we're going to have to settle in for. Now, the good news is I did hear MLGW President Doug McGowan talk about how the TVA, who they're in constant communication with, is prepared. They do have the amount of energy that's needed for an event like this. So that's some good news. Hopefully things don't get too out of hand. But again, all of us, even, you know, all of us here need to be prepared and make sure that we're ready in case the worst does come to worst.
Absolutely. And I know a lot of us still have nightmares about the rolling blackouts that happened a couple of years ago when we had a storm event that was not like this, but kind of similar. As of right now, according to MLGW's Doug McGowan, we do not have any conservation alerts as of this time when it comes to conserving energy, which, like Kevin said, is good news.
It is good news. One other thing they were warning about, potential freezing of pipes as well. That's always going to be an issue here. Some serious risks to your home, wherever you're living. Again, we talked about those warming centers that may come in handy for a lot of folks. But just the number one thing, again, as you heard the mayor tell you, as a lot of those officials tell you, stay off the roads.
Yes.
Stay indoors. Don't go anywhere unless you absolutely have to, because we're going to be here dealing with this for a few days here.
Absolutely. Well, stay with us while you're in the house, hopefully staying warm right now. We'll be right back.